morning, everyone. My name is Commander John Benda, 76th Commanding Officer of USS Constitution, more affectionately known as Old Ironsides, the oldest and finest commissioned warship afloat in the world. This 223 tall-masted 44-ton frigate I'm standing in front of you today. Thank you very much for joining us as we celebrate our nation's Independence Day on this July 4th. I'd like to say, first and foremost, welcome back to all of our fans on USS Constitution's main Facebook page that have joined us for a virtual tour previously, the 104 virtual tours that we've done, and the 2.1 million views that we've generated. Also like to say thank you for joining us, anyone from the Navy's main Facebook page, the service members, the service members, family members. Thanks for being with us today. Especially because this year is a little bit different. We've done everything in a virtual environment in my first 4 months of this tour, and this is no different, no kidding. First, I'd like to say that USS Constitution sailors and I continue to take the COVID-19 virus very seriously. I have my mask right here, and you will see all of my 80 sailors wearing their masks throughout the day. Unless they're speaking, we're not having the ability to maintain 6-foot separation the whole time. I'd like to say great job to my peers across the fleet and across the Navy for making sailor health and safety the #1 priority. A tough, tall task, but also keeping up the mission. Great effort and great job to all of my peers out there in the fleet. Thank you. If this were a normal year, the crew and I, right at this time, would make preparations to take USS Constitution out to sea, or at least through Boston's Inner Harbor, to bring you in the 500 guests that we've invited on board through a national lottery, a chance to see Constitution in action through gun drills, through fight drills, through sailing evolutions, and getting the experience of seeing this ship at sea, which is what she's designed to do and absolutely still capable of doing. Now that tradition of taking the ship out to sea actually dates back to the 1950s, more out of necessity, where the ship literally needed to get underway to be turned around in a harbor so that one side didn't get more weather than the other. It became such a popular event, and we invited the public on board. Became a tradition on July 4th, and so popular that we've continued the tradition and expanded it, where we've had up to 7 underway demonstrations throughout the year. Even though we didn't do one in May, we didn't do one in June, we're unable to do one today for a variety of reasons. We are still looking forward to doing an underway demonstration in September or for the Navy's birthday in October, so keep your eyes out. That's okay, because today we can still, in the virtual world, give you the experience of being on a gun team, being on a drill team. You are going to hear the Declaration of Independence read by the Navy's finest sailors. You're going to get a first-person point.
Right, you thought we were done shooting stuff? Come on, it's the 4th of July. We are still going to be firing gunpowder through our muskets. After that, we have some final words from our 76th Commander John Benda, who will close it up. And thank you so much for everyone that joined us today. It has been fantastic having you, celebrating 4th of July. I want to wish everyone a happy and safe 4th of July as we introduce our 1812 Marines. So right over here. Gentlemen, are you ready to fire a musket? I'm ready to see a musket fired. These are the 1812 Marines.
Hello. How is everybody? The Marine uniform, as you can see, it's a very colorful and ornate uniform. It's all wool. The coatee is wool. The gaiters are wool. Trousers are linen. They have a linen shirt underneath. It's very hot. This is a year-round uniform, whether it's in the summer or the winter. This is what we wore to battle anytime we were on duty. We have a set of cross belts. On one cross belt, we have a cartridge box. This holds our ammunition. You can see the cartridges in there. On the other side is a scabbard, and this would hold the bayonet, which is this. This is a sort of a standoff weapon. We can use the bayonet much like we'd use a spear or a pike. You saw earlier the pike drills. This is sort of a personal pike kind of thing. We have a shako, which is the hat. The shako is a Belgian origin and it's designed to make the Marines look taller and more imposing or threatening. Above the shako is what we have is modern military. You have a badge of rank on your sleeve. We wear the rank on our hats. So you see the privates here have what's called a plush plume. I am portraying a corporal, so I have a feathered plume and one epaulet. A sergeant would have a taller feathered plume on the left side of the shako and 2 epaulets. Those were the only ranks for the enlisted people: private, corporal, and sergeant. Then you would get into the officer ranks, which were lieutenant, captain, major, lieutenant colonel, colonel. On board the ship, there would normally be 2 lieutenants or a lieutenant and a captain. The weapon we're carrying is a flintlock musket. These were made, these particular models were made by the British East India Company in the mid to late 1700s. The U.S. acquired about 5,000 of these after the Revolutionary War from the British. We bought them from the British, and they became the preferred weapon for the U.S. Marine for a number of reasons, mostly because it's a little bit shorter than the standard Springfield musket, which was about 4 inches higher. So it's easier to maneuver around a low overhead deck like on the Constitution. It's got a lot more brass on it, which doesn't rust. So again, in the sea environment, that helps a lot. And it's got a larger bore, so a little bit bigger musket ball, which gives us a little bit more stopping power for the Marine, for the firing. We're going to transition now from talking to, we're going to do a little bit of musket demonstration here. So what I will do is I'm going to give, as if we were training troops, we have something called loading by word. And so each position in the loading and firing drill has a command associated with it. And we're going to go through that with troops right now, and we'll actually fire the muskets. All right, so. Load by word, open, pan. Handle, cartridge. Prime. Shut pan. Charge cartridge. Remove rammer. Ram cartridge. Return rammer. Shoulder, arms. Make ready. Take aim. Fire. All right, so you see how it works. I'm next going to go through what would normally be the normal mode of loading in battle. Is all at once, as quick as you can, and this will repeat until the order is given to cease firing. So it's called fire at will. So fire at will, prime and load. Half-cock firelock, shut pan, shoulder, arm, order, arm, at ease. All right, so that's the loading and fire drill for the U.S. Marine. we were trained to be able to get 3 rounds a minute. That was about the fastest you could do. Some, if you were really good and took some shortcuts, you could get 4 rounds. But that was at the cost of you weren't ramming properly, and you probably had a little worse aim and a little less power behind the round. So 3 rounds a minute was standard for the time. You could see it takes a while to reload the weapon. It's about 20 seconds to reload the weapon. But this is what every army in the world was doing back then. So that's our presentation. I don't know if we're doing questions.
No. Hey, thank you so much for our 1812 Marines. They did a fantastic job showing off the Marine Corps heritage on this ship, and there is so much Marine Corps heritage on this ship. The Marines and the sailors fought on this ship side by side. So, if you're a Marine watching this, know that the history of USS Constitution is the history of the U.S. Marine Corps, just as much as it represents Navy history. So if you're in the comments right now, give us a Semper Fi, Marines. Now, I'm going to turn it over to our 76th Commanding Officer, Commander John Benda. Close this up. Thank you so much for spending part of your 4th of July with us. Wish you a happy and a safe one.
Hello everyone. Yes, just a quick closure. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. It was really an incredible day, a special day for us to get back into the routine of what we love to do, and that's talking about USS Constitution history for our fans and for our visitors. As things start opening up, as travel starts opening up across the country, there's nothing like being here in person. We're hoping to open the ship to general visitation in August 7th in collaboration with our great partners at the USS Constitution Museum and the National Park Service of Boston. So please come see us in person, come visit Boston, come visit us at the Charlestown Navy Yard, and I look forward to seeing you on board Old Ironsides. Constitution out.